What up, world? What up, world? Uh, Man, like as you can tell by the crown on my head, by the backdrop, I look like a fucking Foot Locker thrift store. Um, it's NBA season, man. So it's me, it's my dog O Pizzle, Orlando Penner, Good American Sports representative. We doing this 2013 NBA predictions. I'm gonna break down every single team. I'm gonna touch here and there on different movements, every division. Orlando gonna give y'all his playoff predictions. I'm gonna do the same. Um, and then he gonna give you his rookie of the year. I'm gonna give you my coach of the year, and we both gonna give MVP. Um, we're not gonna talk about who we think is gonna make the finals though. So Pizzle, man, go ahead and kick off the Eastern Conference, man.
What's going on, man? It's Orlando, aka O Pizzle. What's up, Randy? So we gonna knock out this NBA season right here, right now. Got the top 8, Western Conference, Eastern Conference. Let's go ahead and hit this Eastern Conference up. I don't know about you, fam. I mean, I still gotta, it's common sense. I just gotta roll with the Heat on this. I'm a Pacer fanatic, as you already know, but the rest of the YouTube and the millions out there might not know. As y'all see, I'm representing the Colts. I'm Indiana all the way. Miami #1. I got the Pacers coming in, taking our division at #2. I got Brooklyn taking the Atlantic division at #3. Chicago's gonna get the 4th seed. Have New York falling behind with #6. Toronto with like 6, 7, 8 are just question marks all across the board. But I think I have to go with Toronto at #6, sorry, and then Detroit, and then the Wizards coming in at #8 for the playoffs. Pretty much in the East is pretty much already set in stone. It doesn't really matter who plays, whatever. I believe the Eastern Conference Finals will be the Heat versus Indiana once again. Battling it out. I think it's probably the most underrated rivalry in the NBA right now. I think we're up there with most.
There you go. That's how he feels. I mean, you gotta respect the champs, man. I gotta go to my electronic device with my notes on it. So the Southeast Division. The Southeast Division is Miami, Atlanta, Washington, Charlotte, Orlando. As far as the Miami Heat goes, I think they got Birdman all season. They signed Greg Oden from Indianapolis, Indiana. Went to Ohio State, and I want. First off, I want the Miami Heat trainers to be on their motherfucking shit, because I want Greg Oden to be one of the greatest centers ever. Whether he ends up being or not, I'm just saying I want good things for the dude. I hate the Miami Heat as a fan. I'm gonna try to be non-biased. Miami takes that division, then Atlanta, then Washington, then Charlotte, then Orlando. I mean, Atlanta could very well not make the playoffs. I'm waiting for them to fall off. It's like the Denver Nuggets and the Atlanta Hawks. Like, I don't see what they do to stay relevant in the playoffs, but they make it every year. So you gotta give love. You gotta give props, man. The Orlando Magic, they got Victor Oladipo. Oladipo! He's going to tear the league up. He's going to tear the NBA to shreds. And then Charlotte, they're not gonna finish with, are they gonna win 9 games? They signed Al Jefferson, the most shocking free agent signing of the summer. Al Jefferson went to motherfucking Charlotte. So I don't think they're gonna make the playoffs, but just Al Jefferson alone is gonna improve that team along with Zeller from IU. Um, the Central Division. The Central Division, man. Why the fuck once the Pacers take the Central Division crown, every single team has to improve? Um, the Pacers, I mean, clearly, I feel like the Pacers are going to win the Central Division again back-to-back seasons. We signed C.J. Watson. We traded for Luis Scola. Tyler Hansbrough went to Toronto, man. That shit is so weird to me. Like, he was always a conundrum. He either brought energy off the bench or he just fucked shit up while he was on the court. We got Danny Granger back. Whether he starts or come off the bench, it's a positive thing. Danny Granger back on the court is good for basketball. I personally feel like Granger should start because I think Lance Stevenson, the beast that he is the perfect leader off the bench. Who else did the Pacers pick up, man? I mean, we re-signed David West. Paul George signed an extension, man. I can go on and on about my team. But Chicago obviously got Derrick Rose back. I don't feel like they really have anybody else. Luol Deng is in a contract year. He's not gonna give a fuck. I don't feel like Carlos Boozer is what he once was. Joakim Noah, I mean, he's growing on me as a player. That's it though. The Pistons picked up Brandon Jennings and Josh Smith. They could sneak into the playoffs. Detroit could be, if they don't make the playoffs, Detroit is gonna be that team that other teams are gonna be scared to play because of their roster. It's like, damn, like we might not make the playoffs because we got to play Detroit late in the season. And then Milwaukee. Milwaukee signed OJ Mayo. OJ Mayo, like that's weird as fuck that he went to Milwaukee. I mean, Larry Bird should have hollered at him like 2-3 seasons ago. He was trying to get OJ Mayo from Memphis. But I mean, he's in Milwaukee now. Off the top of my head, I don't really remember anybody else that Milwaukee has. Man, Bucks fans comment and let me know who else the Bucks have that make them a fucking playoff contender. Like, why should the Bucks get the 8th seed? But in the order that I said, that's how I feel like the Central Division is going to fall. As far as the Atlantic Division, the Brooklyn Nets, coached by last year's New York Knicks point guard Jason Kidd. Jason Kidd, inexperience as a coach, I feel like it's going to cost them some games. They got Kevin Garnett. They got Paul Pierce. Paul Pierce in another uniform is going to be so weird. Like, Paul Pierce not in green is just gonna be strange, man. The Knicks were third last year. This year they gonna drop slightly. They not gonna take their division. I think Carmelo has already said he's gonna be a free agent, so it's gonna be distractions and shit again in New York. I mean, they gonna be above 500. They gonna win. They still got J.R. Smith. They still got Tyson Chandler. They still got Amari Stoudemire. Like, they have the team. It's just shit. You know, like the Knicks, man. It's always drama in New York. And then them motherfuckers got the All-Star game. Like, the Nets and Knicks share the All-Star game next season. I think the motherfuckers back in like Houston or L.A. or some shit this year. It's in another weird city. And then the Boston Celtics. I want Brad Stevens to do well. I want Rondo. Like, I expect Rondo halfway through the season to demand a trade because he hasn't been on a losing team. He hasn't been the man. Now he's the man. Like, it's his team, like, undisputed. It's Rondo's basketball team. And I hope that he could put the team on his back, whether they can sneak into the 8th spot or not. I want Rondo to lead the team, and I want Brad Stevens to do well. Other than that, I could care less about the Celtics. The Raptors, like I said before, they got Tyler Hansbrough, but other than that, and Rudy Gay, I wonder why Orlando said Toronto was gonna make the playoffs. But it's the Raptors, man. since they have Vince Carter or Chris Bosh, like what have the Raptors really done? And then Philly, Nerlens Noel, a brand new coach. Noel ain't even playing this year. And then besides like Evan Turner, and they traded Drew Holiday. Off top, Spencer Hawes. I can't even think of who they have on their team. So that's the East. As far as the playoffs go, in the 1 seed I got Miami. You gotta respect the champs. I don't want them to be the 1 seed, but you gotta respect the champs until they beat they number 1. The Indiana Pacers number 2. It's 4 spots, 3 division winners. So a division winner gets one of the top 4 spots, not necessarily the top 3. That's why I got Chicago 3rd and I got Brooklyn 4. I got the Knicks 5th. I got the Atlanta Hawks number 6. They could easily fall the fuck off though. They could easily not make the playoffs. 7, I got Cleveland. I got the Cleveland Cavaliers because Kyrie Irving is a motherfucking monster. And then they had the number 1 draft pick, and I want to see Andrew Bynum succeed, just like I said about Greg Oden. Because with all his funky ass hairdos in Philly last year, didn't even play. I want to see him healthy, and I want to see him beast, but not against the Pacers. And in the AC, the Washington Wizards, because just like Kyrie Irving, John Wall is a motherfucking monster. And then they just traded for Gortat, and Gortat brings hustle, and they got other pieces that I just aren't coming to me right now that I feel like can contribute and do good in Washington. So that's my Eastern Conference playoff prediction. I'm gonna send it back to San Antonio so Orlando can tell y'all his Western Conference.
I got the Clippers number 1 taking the Pacific. I got Houston taking that Southwest region, whatever you call it. So I have them coming in number 2 ahead of the Spurs. I have OKC taking that 3rd spot. I got Golden State coming in at 4th. And then the Spurs in 5th. I think they're going to fall off this year. Speaking about Golden State, addition with Andre, with Steph Curry, this is about to be ridiculous. And then you got Thompson just stroking it from behind the arc. It's about to be ridiculous. So pretty much they're going to be a force to be reckoned with. And then I have at number 6, shocker, might be in New Orleans. Hopefully Eric Gordon's healthy and he's good to go. And then I got the Lakers coming in, and that's a question mark all around, because if Kobe's not going to play, there's no team. There's pretty much no team there already. So we'll see how that works out. And then I have 8 going in. A former Pacer coach, Brian Shaw, took over. So just to recap, for the Western Conference, I have the Clippers number 1, Houston number 2, OKC number 3. I have Golden State number 4, Spurs number 5. Got New Orleans, that's my surprise pick, coming in at number 6. The Lakers, which is a question mark, and then I have Denver coming in at number 8. All right, and on the Western Conference, I'm gonna have to go with the Clippers. I'm gonna go with the Clippers and Golden State. Battle of the Bay. I think that would be pretty good. Clippers and Golden State. Depending on how the seeding, if I'm not accurate on my seeding, but Golden State is gonna be up there. So I think they have the experience now to overcome good teams like the Spurs and stuff like that. In the playoffs that they weren't able to do last year. So
okay, the NBA Western Conference, man, that's who right there who Orlando think is gonna make the playoffs in the West. and we pretty close. I mean, we didn't have no prior discussions. We didn't have no, who do you think is gonna do this? Who do you think is gonna do this? I hit him up last week and was like, next weekend I'm trying to post my NBA prediction video. He was like, cool. 3 days ago he sent me his video. And I edited this motherfucker. So my Western Conference. First, division by division. Northwest, OKC, Denver, Minnesota, Utah, Portland. Oklahoma City, I think that's like everybody's like hopes and dreams for the number one seed in the West. I don't know when Westbrook is coming back. They ain't even got Kevin Martin no more. That's gonna hurt them early. I mean, KD is gonna do all he can. Kendrick Perkins is a beast down low. But they gonna win the division. The Denver Nuggets, I think, come in second, just because they got the same team that George Karl left. Brian Shaw is a hell of a fucking coach. Brian Shaw was the co-head coach in Indiana. He wasn't no assistant coach. Brian Shaw was the co-head coach. I think that's why the Pacers defense was so tight. Along with Vogel. I mean, no slight on Coach Vogel because he's a monster too. But Brian Shaw is taking over a team that was already legit. The Manimal, Kenneth Faried, monster. Ty Lawson. I mean, I like their team. They lost Andre Iguodala, but I like their team. The Minnesota Timberwolves, I think, are gonna be next. The lower echelon of the Western Conference is so competitive. I mean, it's like an oxymoron to say, but there's gonna be like 13 legit playoff contenders in the West this year. I want to see Kevin Love healthy an entire season. I want to see Rubio healthy an entire season. Rick Adelman is a good coach. They picked up Kevin Martin. What Chris Webber called their center. I can't think of his fucking name. He looks like one of General Zod's henchmen from Superman the movie. I think Minnesota, if healthy, can be scary, man. And then after Minnesota, I got Utah. They just lost Troy Burke, ankle injury. They re-signed Jamal Tinsley. Pacer fans have a history with Jamal Tinsley. Gordon Hayward is out there. I'm drawing blanks, man. Utah can do things. Utah can finish above Denver if they put it together. And then Portland, the Portland Trailblazers, motherfucking LaMarcus Aldridge, Damian Lillard is so nasty. He's in the conversation with Kyrie Irving, with John Wall, with these young ass point guards. There's a lot of fucking young point guards that are gonna do damage this year. Like somebody's getting robbed from the motherfucking All-Star game, and I hope it's not Damian Lillard. That's it for the Northwest. For the Pacific Division, you got the California basketball teams, the LA Clippers, the LA Lakers, the Golden State Warriors, and the Sacramento Kings. My bad. The Sacramento Kings. What, Shaq is like part owner or some shit. He bought a stock in the Kings, and then the Phoenix Suns. Emeka Okafor just went to Phoenix, but I'll get to that. The Clippers, they signed JJ Redick. They signed some other people, man. Like, I should have looked up their roster before I did this video. But the main acquisition was Doc Rivers. I love Doc Rivers in LA. I'm sorry, I do. CP3, Blake Griffin, DeAndre Jordan, Jamal Crawford. I like the Clippers are my favorite team in the West. They just are. They gonna win the division again. The Golden State Warriors are gonna be number 4. I love Mark Jackson as a coach. Steph Curry, Klay Thompson. They picked up Andre Iguodala, Andrew Bogut. I love what the Warriors do, man. Like Steph Curry could arguably be in the MVP conversation. Um, I think the Lakers finished after the Warriors in the division. The Lakers are gonna be another circus. Kobe, what the fuck does 12/25 mean? Is it that ESPN shit, or are you coming back on Christmas? Um, Let Kobe come back on Christmas. Motherfuckers will win like 8 games out of their first 30. Um, like if Kobe is out, who's gonna step up? Can Pau Gasol carry a team? Like I think he's leaned on Kobe so much. Like, and then Steve Nash. Steve Nash is old, man. Like, I love Steve Nash. Who doesn't? But he's not what he was during his MVP years. He's not what he was 3 years ago. The Lakers, the Lakers are gonna be like the Knicks, except the Knicks are gonna be successful. I hate repeating myself, but the Lakers are gonna be a fucking circus this year. And then Phoenix is gonna be in the ping pong ball race for the #1 draft pick. With what's left, the Southwest Division, you got the Texas teams, you got Memphis, and you got New Orleans. This is where me and O kind of differ because I say Houston, San Antonio, Memphis, Dallas, New Orleans. Houston is going to take the division. Like Stephen A. Smith on ESPN said that they're going to finish 4th. I think he might even said 5th. But shout out Stephen A. Smith because he said the Pacers got the best chance of upsetting the Heat. Dwight Howard, James Harden. That's all you need. Like, you don't even need Jeremy Lin. Like, Kevin McHale done come out and said that they're gonna have co-starting point guards. Like, that's a shit on Jeremy Lin. Once it's not gonna take long. Thanksgiving, middle of December, until Dwight Howard and James Harden start clicking. I hope James Harden knee isn't too fucked up. If he can play opening night, Houston's gonna be a problem. I got the Spurs after that. They just picked up Josh Howard. Hopefully they play him more than they played T-Mac. I mean, Tim Duncan, Ginobili, Tony Parker, man, you can't deny them dudes. They all great. I mean, if it wasn't for where Dwight Howard signed, they would win the division. And then Memphis after that, man. Memphis, I love Marc Gasol. I love motherfucking Zach Randolph. Mike Conley from Indianapolis. I mean, they got a squad. Despite what anybody say, man, they got a squad. They might not get to the Western Conference Finals again, but they got a squad. I don't see Dallas improving much. They picked up Monte Ellis, but other than that, man, like, they lost out on the Dwight Howard sweepstakes. They not doing shit else. And then New Orleans, they got Eric Gordon from Indianapolis. They picked up Tyreek Evans, Anthony Davis, Austin Rivers. They got a nice squad, but I just think they too young. I mean, they could surprise motherfuckers. They could sneak into 8 and be better than Dallas. As far as playoffs go, the LA Clippers. Doc Rivers is going to get them motherfuckers defensively straight. They're going to be the top seed in the West. Houston, number 2. Because of the early season losses, I think OKC, number 3. Golden State gets home court, number 4. The Spurs, 5. See, me and O, one-track mind so far. And now we off the track. Because I got Brian Shaw in Denver at number 6. I got the Memphis Grizzlies number 7, and I got here's my shock. Here's my playoff shock. Why O said New Orleans at 6, which is more shocking than what I'm about to say. Minnesota, the 8th seed. Whether they get swept, I just want to see Minnesota in the playoffs. I want to see CP3 versus Rubio, Peter Pan versus Rufio. That's my West. That's, you know what I'm saying. You got both of our predictions, both conferences. So Orlando, who do you think is gonna get Rookie of the Year, my dude?
Rookie of the Year, I'm gonna go with Victor Oladipo, also from the great state of Indiana. Hooters in the building. So so we'll see how that plays out.
And that's Oladipo, man. Oladipo, hold it down for IU. Hold it down for the Hoosiers. I completely agree. My Coach of the Year, I mean, look at the logo, baby. Look behind me. Frank Vogel. Francis Vogel is going to win NBA Coach of the Year for the 2013-2014 season. Orlando, who you think getting MVP, cuz?
We're going to go ahead and get the MVP out there. I think, the safe pick is probably going to be like LeBron. So I don't think anyone's is performing like he is right now. So we'll see how that goes. And, yeah.
I'm not hating, because the tear that LeBron has been on since he finally won a championship, he could win his third straight MVP. Stephen A. Smith said Derrick Rose is going to get MVP. As a fan, fuck Derrick Rose. As somebody trying to be non-biased, which I think I let that boat sail, it could happen. For me, my MVP prediction, CP3 for MVP. Just let him be healthy. Let the Clippers do. Let the Clippers exceed expectations. Let them lock the 1 seed early in like mid-March. It could happen.
These are my predictions for the upcoming NBA season. Shouts out to you, a big fan, Rain Little. Keep on doing what you're doing. Hopefully I'll see you in Indiana come July, man. NBA Finals. All right.
Man, that's it. This is going to be a long-ass motherfucking video. I know I'm not going to chop too much out of it. Drop a comment, man. Hit Orlando on Facebook. Search Good American Sports on Facebook. It's appreciated. I'm gonna put his tag for Twitter. Sports Talk, man. The next time I see y'all for Sports Talk will be before the NFL playoffs. Maybe sooner. I mean, I might get a wild hair up my ass. You know what I'm saying? Shout out O Pizzle. I appreciate you doing this video with me, dog. It's all AMH, man. I'm working on my shit. You know what I'm saying? I'm doing a plethora of different things on my channel. Orlando is doing his damn thing. I appreciate y'all watching. Hit me on my music page, on my movie page on Facebook. Hit both of us on Twitter, man. Hit me on Instagram. Peace. And go Pacers, motherfuckers.